Yeah, hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to discuss about the AS400 display file. So we mainly discuss about what is a display file and what is the uses of display file and how you can design the display file in the AS400. Okay, so how many types of display files in the AS400? Okay, so basically first, what is a display file? Okay, so display file, which means one screen. Okay, it's a screen. It's a where user can interact and give the some input and where we can present some data. Okay, if you take an example of that. Okay, if you take an example, if you go to the any HDFC bank or if you go to the any Facebook, so if you are the new customer, first you have to give the some information, right? Where you can give that information, usually give on the some screen. So there is a some field, there are some fields are there, and like the first name and surname and the full name, date of birth, or email ID, phone number, you have to give that inputs, right? You have to give that information. Here what you are doing, you're interacting with the screen, you are giving the some data and you're on that screen. Okay, so the screens are called display files. Okay, so if you go to the example, so just take this here and I'll type the Facebook. Just I'll type the Facebook. So now you can see here. So this is a one kind of screen. Here it's showing the some text and there's a two fields, their email and password. So where is the user can give the some email and password. So back end the validation will happen. If everything good, then it navigates to the his profile page. And if you are the new customer and create the new account and give all this information. So these are one kind of screen, the sign up screen where user can interact with application, which means where user can give the some input. Okay, so mobile number is a numeric, here you can give, and here also give the some characters. Okay, so this is how you can design. These are the screens. Okay, which is nothing but front end. Okay, so AS400 has the, as we know that AS400 have the inbuilt database, and the AS400 have the front ending, and AS400 also have the back end. The front end in the AS400 is display files. Okay, so you can use a display files, different kind of display files. Okay, so we'll discuss is, about that different kind of display file, what are the different types. Okay, so first you just remember that display files are nothing but front end, display files are nothing but where you have to design the some screens. Okay, so now let's get into the topic. So what is a display file? So as we discussed just now, so display files are the type of one file and it used to create and manage the screen. Okay, here used to create and manage the screen. The screens required for what? User interaction in the AS400 application. Okay, for example, if any application like HSBC or HDFC or something, it is designed in the AS400. So if user wanted to interact with their application, so they have to design the some screens. So those are the calls display files. Okay, the purpose of the display files, that is a user interface. Display files are used to present the data to users and capture their input. Okay, so capture their input, and if they are doing any inquiry, such kind of things in application, so we can present the data on the screens. Okay, and what is the type of display file? There is a record type and there is a sub files and there is a window files. So type of display files are the three types. Okay, the record is where you are deal with the only single record information on the screen. Okay, you cannot see the multiple records information on the screen. Okay, so where you have a sub file instance where you can see the multiple records information on the single screen. Okay, where you can present the multiple records at one screen. Okay, window is where you can just pop up and provide some additional information to check and confirm something. Okay, so these are the three types of mainly most frequently used screens in the AS400. Okay, and what is the subfile advantage? It shows a multiple record at once, and the Windows advantage the show, it shows the extra details and asks the confirmation. Okay, so here you go. This is a simple flow chart, and it is a display files. Okay, you can access the, here you can be some display file, and here will be some display file. Okay, so here if you give any user give some input, if user give the any input, and it is a RPGLE program that validates the user input, because if you design the screen, backend will write the RPGLE program. Okay, so that whatever the user given input, the RPGLE program validate the, if all goes good, so maybe that it goes to the insert operation or update operation or delete operation in the database. Okay, this is the database. So these are the physical files or the logical files. Okay, on the screen user giving the some input and this RPGLE program is validating, and finally it performing. If it is related to file operation, either you can insert or update and delete the data file, delete into the database files. Okay, so this is a basically normal flow chart for the how the front end and how the actions will be performed on the front end, how those actions can be stored at the back end. So actions is nothing but either you can insert or update or delete and fetch. So it is an example of the single record example. So here you can see the single record information. Here you can see only the Krishna information. Okay, and these are the called function keys. Okay, by using the function keys only you can handle the screen, because the function key is nothing but, for example, for in the Facebook page. Okay, so now so you are in this page. Okay, so if you wanted to close, you can simply click on this into mark, and if you wanted to go back, you can take back arrow. If you wanted to go to the previous screen, you can take the forward arrow something. Okay, since it is these screens are designed in CSS or HTML, some advanced languages, you have a more functionalities like this. Okay, you can do this. But in the AS400, if you design any screen, okay, so if you wanted to go back to the previous screen, if you wanted to exit from that screen, and if you wanted to add the record from that screen, and if you wanted to do the any operation, and we use the function keys. Okay, so this function keys, based on this function keys only, will perform those operations. Since the AS400 is some old technology, so since they are following this display file concept, and we don't have that much flexibility to use online options like, okay, so many options. So we have to depend on the this function keys. You have to declare your function keys on the screen. Okay, so this is an example of the single record example, and this is a subfile. So here you can see multiple records information. Earlier scenario, you seen the only one record information, right? Now you can see multiple records information on the same screen and single screen. Okay, so this is called the subfiles. Okay, and here you can see it is a window type. Okay, here you can see the window is pop up and showing the some additional information, the address information to confirm. Okay, and these are the three types of screen. And now, so we are going to do the demo on the this basic screen. We'll design some basic calculation screen, and we'll design some fields and some text, and we'll take the input from the user, and we'll write some RPGLE program to validate that input. If all good, and we'll show the output. Okay, so now we are going to design the screen in AS400. Just open the AS400. Okay, so so if you wanted to design any screen in AS400, you have to take the command strsda. Okay, strsda. So this is a screen design. Here we have a three option: design the screen, design the menu, and test the display files. And you have to select the first option, design the screen. Okay, first option, option one, design the screen. Here you have to give the source file name, where so you are designing the screen, right? Which means backend the system generate the some source, and where this member needs to be placed, you have to give that place. Okay, the place in a sense where you have to be that member, the source physical file and library you must give. So I wanted to this member, I wanted to use a member as a std dsp01, and I wanted to place this member information. So whatever I'm going to design the screen information, I wanted to store in this specific source file and library, and hit an enter. Okay, and now you take option one, record, and you must give the record format name. Okay, record format name, because one display file can have the multiple record formats. Okay, now I am going to design the first screen. Okay, scr01, I am just giving the scr01, you can give anything. Okay, so just hit and enter. Now here you have to select the type, what type of screen you are going to design it. Either it is a record type, where you are dealing with only single record. Sorry guys. So where you are going to create the subfile screen, where you are deal with the multiple records, or you wanted to show the multiple records information on the single screen, then type should be sfl. And if you wanted to design the some window screen, type should be window. Okay, so for now I wanted to design the record type screen. Just give the record only and hit an enter. Okay, so now this is a black screen. Okay, blank screen. So it is a kind of the white paper, A4 size white paper, just assume. And now you have to draw your screen. Okay, so you have to design your screen. So let's goes to the ppt. And what is the requirement? The requirement is here. Okay, so I wanted to, this is a username I wanted. Okay, I need a, I need a username at top left corner, and top right corner I wanted to see the date and time. I wanted to give the basic calculation screen. This is as a heading, and I have to declare these many text and declare these fields. Okay, and I wanted to give the one function key. So this is my basic screen design. So now, so here first thing, you wanted to see the user. Okay, which user is currently logged in and which user is calling this screen. Okay, so for that we have a standard one, star user you can give. Okay, so now you can see it is a UUU, but when you call this screen by using RPGLE program, you can see the user information here. Now top left corner I have to give the star date, and this is my requirement, right? Star date and star time. So these are the standard. Okay, you don't need to write the special code for this date and time. Okay, so now I wanted to do the proper alignment. Just give the one forward slash forward arrow and just it. So now I wanted to give the some screen heading. Right here you have to give the basic calculation program. I'll give this one. Okay, in the quotation here you are giving the in quotation. In quotation means it is a text. Okay, if you are giving anything in quotation, it is a text. Enter. Okay, so this is a basic calculation scheme. So if you wanted to move this text into the another place on the screen, for example the text is here. Now I wanted to move this text here from here to here. Okay, here to here. How you can move? You can just give the minus before to the text and give the equal wherever you wanted to move. I wanted to here, give the equal, enter. Okay, if I wanted to move from here to here, minus and equal, enter. And if I wanted to move here to here, minus, and here you have to give the equal symbol, enter. Okay, so this is how you can move the text from one place to another place. So now, okay, you given the user and date and time, and you also given the heading, the screen heading. Now you have to declare the some text, right? You have to define some text and define the some fields. What is a text and what is a fields? The text is, we are telling the user. So this here you have to enter this value. Okay, here you have to enter this value. If you go with the Facebook, and here it is showing that email address or phone number, so that user understand, okay, on this place I need to enter either email or phone number, and this place either I need to enter the password. If you take the create new account, and here I need to enter the mobile, and here I have to give the password, here I have to give the first name and surname. How you know that? So there is a some text, you can see on the screen, right? So same way here I have to give the some text, and you have to give the some fields. The fields are nothing but where user can enter the some data. Okay, where user can give the some input. So first we'll give the text. In our case, what are the text is required? Number one, number two, and operator and result. Okay, first we'll define the text, then after that we'll define the fields. For text you have to give in the single quotes, in between the quotes. Okay, quotation number, number, number one colon, enter. Okay, the same way I wanted to define the one more thing, number number, give, sorry, you have to give the number two, like here. Okay, number two, give the here quotation. I wanted to give the number one here only, and here give this, and here give the quotation. Okay, and now I wanted to select the operator operator, enter. Okay, so now you have to select the result, result, result. So these are the things I require, right? Okay, so now you define the text. Now you have to declare the fields, because so when user, so when user call this program, there is no place to enter the value, right? This is only text, right? Okay, so you have to define the fields. So there is a two type of fields, right? Either it can be numeric or it can be character fields. So Here the number one and number two, you have to take the input from the user, right? The input from the user. I'll just open the notepad. Okay, explain. So if it is a numeric, okay, if it is a numeric and if it is an input and it is a 3 for input, okay, 3 for input and 6 for output, okay, 9 for both. Both means input and output. If it is a character, so here I for input and O for output and B for both, okay, B for both. So what is the input output and both? What is the input output and both? Input in innocence where you wanted to get the some information from the user. If you can see here, if you can see in the Facebook, these are the input fields because user has to enter some value here. User has to enter some value here. So in our screen, the number one and number two in operator should given by the user only, right? So number one he enter the some value and number two he should enter value and operator what what is the what arithmetic operation he wanted to perform, either it is a addition or subtraction, multiplication, division. He have to give the one operator, right? And result will be output. User should not give the result, right? So based on the inputs given by the user, you have to write the some piece of logic at backend and show the output. Okay, so when you if you are expecting something from user and you have to define that field is the input. So number one and number two is a numeric field. So if you wanted to design the input field for the numeric, you have to use the 3, right? 3 for the input, then you have to take the 3. So place 3 and how much length you wanted to expecting from the user, up to 5 length, okay, up to 5 length, enter. Okay, so you define the field. Now you have to give the some meaningful name to this field, right? So otherwise while writing the program it's very difficult to refer the fields, right? The system generated field. So when you define this field, the backend system automatically generate the one field. Okay, if you take question mark before to this field and hit an enter, you can see FLD001. This is a field, it was generated by the system. But you wanted to give your own name, right? Some meaningful name. So I wanted to give this is as a number one. Num1, enter. Okay, so now go to the number 2. Number 2 also numeric, it is a input. Okay, input plus 3 of and up to 5 length user can enter and take question mark again, enter. And here you can give the meaningful as a number 2, enter. And operator is not numeric, it is a character, because operator either you can select the plus, minus, division or multiplication, then you have to give the character. Still it is a input field only, you are expecting you should expect this input from the user, so you have to define this field as a input. So for character, what is the input? I for input. Okay, I for input plus I of 1. Okay, so it can be only one length, that is why plus I of 1. So I want a proper alignment, I just wanted to move this field bit forward. Okay, so there is a, for example, this is a text, and if you wanted to move two places to backward, you have to give the backward arrows. Okay, how many arrows you can give, and that much places the text will be moved. If you give the forward arrows, so this is how text can be moved. Okay, so here and there in the same line, if you wanted to move right side or left side, you can use the forward arrows and backward arrows. Okay, so the result is a numeric, but what type of field it is, either it is an input or both or output, it is the output field. Okay, you have to define the result as the output, because user should not enter any value, so you have to show the output based on the user input. So it is a numeric place 6 is the output, 6 of, and output should be up to 5 length. Okay, enter. And you have to give the some meaningful question mark, enter. And res, enter. So for operator, are you given the meaningful name? OPT, you have to give OPT, enter. Okay, so now you define the text, and now you define the fields as well. That is done. So now I just wanted to add some colors. Okay, I just do the some makeup on my screen. So to adding the colors, you can add two ways. First, you can take the star, enter. Here basically it shows what are the things you can do for this text. So display attributes is nothing but if you wanted to blink the text, okay, you can use a blink. And if you wanted to highlight the text, you can use a high intensity. And you can if you don't want to display that text, you can use a non-display. Okay, so as of now I don't want to apply any display attributes because since it is a very basic screen, I just wanted to go with the minimal options to understand. Okay, so I don't want to use any display, but I wanted to use some colors. Just take y, and here I wanted to give the white color. Select one, enter. Now you can see the text, the heading is changed to white color. So I wanted to apply the blue color for the operator. So one method, you taken the star in front of the text and given enter, and there is a color keyword you selected, and the white color also is selected. So this is a shortcut way. You have to give the C, okay, in front of the operator, and which color you wanted to apply. Blue. So the first letter is B. Then give B, enter. So now here also if you wanted to apply C, B, enter. So this is the shortcut way to apply the color. Okay. So the basic screen design is done, right? Now function keys is not designed. So now I'll will add that function keys later. Okay, to understand what is the use of the function key. The for now you understood, right? So what is the text and what is the fields, and how many types of the fields, like input field and output field and both field. So input is user give the input, output is basically user cannot give and we have to present the output. And what is the use of the both declaration? Okay, so that is also I'll explain. Okay, while so that is also I'll explain. Okay, so for now this basic design is done. We have to enhance the screen, but for first we'll write some piece of logic and we'll introduce some function key, then we'll see. Okay, F3 enter, save, and F3 enter, enter. F3 take, go to work mbr pdf. Here you can see stddsp01, it is created. So if you go with here, you can see the some source. Okay, this source was generated by the system. So if you do any changes in this source, and the screen also going to be affected because this source is related to the screen only, right? So you design the screen and backend system is generated the some source. For example, if you remove this color blue here, control X, and if you remove the blue here, control X, and just F3 enter, 14 compile it, and take option 17, enter. Option 17 basically again you are going to the screen design, option 12 for the design image in the edit mode. You can see, so you remove that blue color in the source at the backend source, which was generated by the system, and you compile that, and when you come to the screen design you can see that the changes are affected here as well. Okay, so whatever the modification you do at the that source, the changes also be effect on the screen. Okay, again I'm going to add the blue color, cb, enter, and here also cb, enter. Okay, so this is how. So now the screen is designed. Okay, screen design is done. Now you have to write the program. Why you require the program? Because if user give any values, okay, if user, you have to show that screen, and if user gives some input, based on that you have to perform the some output operations. Okay, you have to perform the some logic and give some output. Okay, so then we are going to write the RPGLE program F6, and yes, RPGLE, enter. Sorry, here what you have to do, F6, and add the member. Yeah, just stddsp01 or, and give the RPGLE, enter. So first you are going to work with the which display file, this one. So you have to declare the display file, right? Okay, so here it is a C and fully browser, and it is an external described file, and device should be work str. So then only system understand it is a workstation file. Workstation file nothing but it is a kind of the display files. Okay, then IPC. So first you have to show that screen to the user, right? So what is the operation code? Exfmt, then so which SCR01? We have a SCR01 record format, because you should not give the stddsp01 here, because stddsp01 is a member, that is a display file. It is having the multiple record format, and which record you wanted to show to the user first. I wanted to show the SCR01 record because SCR01 is a screen that you have designed. Okay, enter. So we'll show that first, and then I wanted to give eval star INLR is equal to star on, because this is my last statement, and just file it and compile it, file it and compile, enter, So when you call this program, you can see the screen is displaying. Okay, but when you give the 100 or 200 or when you give the place, nothing is working because you are not written the logic to work that. Okay, when user select this operator, you what should we do? So that you are not written yet. You are just written the simple single line that you have to show the screen. Okay, so now I am on the screen. If I wanted to exit from the screen, how do I exit? I don't have any function keys to tell me that take this function to exit from the screen. If you take F3 or F5 or some F6, anything, nothing is working. Okay, so that first you should add the function. Okay, so based on that functions only user understand if he wanted to exit from screen, what function key he should take, and if you wanted to add any new record from that screen, what function key he should take. If you wanted to go to the previous screen, what function key he has to select. Okay, he has to press. So for that I just wanted to add the one function key called f06 is equal to exit. Okay, so for that what I will do, again I go to the screen design 17 12. So I wanted to add the f03 is equal to exit. First you have to write the text, right? Here it is a text, f03 is equal to exit. It is a text. Why it is a text? I written in the single quotes. Okay, it is just simply text, f03 is equal to exit. Why we given the text? Okay, if user call the screen, okay, you have an option to f03. You can when you press that f03, you can exit from the screen. Okay, f3 enter. But you have to define, you have to work that function key, you have to define that indicator, you have to define that indicator in somewhere, right? That f03 function key. So for that you have to take option 8 enter. You have a indicator section. So that f03 in the AS400 terms we usually call indicators. Okay, so enter. Here you can take CA03 and I'll take response indicator is 03 and you can give the some exit. Okay, so now when you user press f03, so you have to write the logic as well. Okay, so far you design the function, but how that function will be work? So when user press that function, what should be executed? If user do not press that function, what exactly you wanted to do? You have to write that logic, right? Then here you go, you have to say that so user press, until and unless user press f03, the screen should show. Okay, you should the screen should show until unless user explicitly press the f03. So do while star again 03 is equal to star off and end do. You can just mention end do, which means here if until unless user press the f03, the screen will be shown. Okay, so user on that screen only. Just file it and compile it and call this program. If you can see here, so if you take any function key, it won't even sorry, so call. So even if you take enter or something, you can see the wrong input you are getting. Okay, so if you take, when you press f03, it exit from the screen. Okay, this is how you can introduce your function to the screen. So first you have to give the text. So f03 is equal to exit, that you given in the quotation. Next you define that function. The function is nothing but indicator. f03, the 03 as an indicator you are using. For example, to for addition, if you use these are the indicators. Okay, so here you use these are the text for f03 and it is a 04 as indicator, 05 is indicator, and 24 as indicator. And you can use the indicators till you can use a function keys till 24. Okay, so and indicators you can use up to 99 or something. Okay, 90 or 99 you can use. So now, so here you displayed the screen and you tell so you return the logic that so until unless user press f03, the screen should be shown. Okay, so now once a screen is displayed, if user is entered anything, so for example here you calling, so if user select 100 or 200, if you place, so nothing is happening. Okay, you are not getting the result because you are not written the logic. The screen is showing now. So once screen is displayed, what exactly he wanted to do. Okay, so you have to write the piece of logic. I enter, take and see enter. I just repeat 5 times. Here I will use a select when condition. Okay, select when user, so when OPT. So we use the OPT, right? OPT is equal to place. So you wanted to do the addition, right? Eval. So what are the things you wanted to do the addition and where you wanted to store it? In the result field, RES. So this is a field we given, right? RES is equal to number 1 plus number 2. Yes. And then here end cell, because we use a select and we have to close that select. Just give file and compile it 14, enter and call this program. So now if you give 100 and 200, if I give plus enter, you can see 300. Okay, so here you can see the result, but what are the input values you given? Those values are cleared after the logic is performed. The input values are cleared, but my requirement is I wanted to see the input and output on the screen. Okay, input and output on the screen. Here you can see the result I wanted to see, and also what are the inputs I given, I wanted to see it on the screen. In that case, these fields should be declared as a both mode. So why both mode? By using the both mode, user can perform the input operation. Also, user can see the output operation. Okay, the both mode user can see and user can modify that values and again. Okay, so for that I am going to declare that field is in the both mode. I don't want to go to the screen design. Instead of that, I wanted to do the changes in the source. I take option to here, and if you can see here, all the fields are the I is the input at this position. Instead of I, I'll put B for both, B for both, enter. And F3, enter, and 14, compile it, and once you change the any display file, you have to compile the program again, compile and call the program. Now you can enter 200, 300. If you take place, enter, you can see 500, and you also we can see the input which you are entering. Okay, so if you declare the field in the both mode, you can do the modification as well here. Okay, 300 and plus again you can see 600. If you can see some here is 600 and enter, you can see 900. So here you can see the input, and you can also perform the some operations. You can give the new values if you declare the field in the both mode. Okay, so since you written the logic for only plus, and you can write the logic for um, other operations codes as well. Okay, just copy from here to here. So here you can give minus, here you can give division, here you can give the star. Okay, and if it is minus, I should subtract. If it is division, I should do the division operation. That is a multiplication, star, enter. Okay, so I just use the select and min conditions, and I just F3 and 14, compile it and call. So when you give the 300 and 200 and just give the minus, it's showing the 100. Okay, the minus also working. And if you give the 200 and division, you can see the 1. Okay, if you give the 100 and 200, give the star, enter, you can see it is at 20,000. All arithmetic operations are performing here. What you're doing, user is interacting with the screen. User can give the input against with the number 1, number 2, and he can select the operator. The result is coming because result is a non-editable. User cannot enter the value here. Okay, so it is generated at the backend logic based on the user inputs. And this is how you can design the basic screen. Okay, so this is how you can design the some basic screen. And here you can design the some text, and here you can define the fields, and you can give the some meaningful name for these fields. Okay, and you can, this is how you can give the some function. Okay, so this is a very basic level of the screen design, and this is how you can write the logic for that screen. Okay, so here basically what we have done, we just declare the file, and we are saying that until unless user press F03, the screen should be shown. And once screen is displayed, if user is selected the plus operator, you have to do the addition. If it is minus operator, you have to do the subtraction. And for division, for multiplication, it should do the multiplication, and end select and end do. Okay, so it's a basic screen. But here we are not introduced any validation. For example, if user given the 000, and it is nothing, right? So you have to give some, if you wanted to add any condition like the number one and number two should not be the zeros, so then you can add that logic as well. Okay, you can add this place. Okay, once the screen is displayed, so here you can add the some logic. Okay, so that is up to you. If you wanted to do that, you can add the some logics. Okay, and this is all about the basic screen design, and this is a record type screen. Okay, so I'll upload the another video on the sub file. Okay, how we can design the sub file and how we can write the logic to show the multiple records on the screen. Okay, and how many types of the sub files, what is the difference between the load all and single page sub files. I'll make one video and upload it. Okay, so please do subscribe, and thank you for your watching. We'll meet in the next session. Okay, thank you guys.